Yeah, thanks a lot for your punctual appearance. And I know that it was a hard choice, a sovereign choice. One of the keywords I was not able to mention in my speech, sovereignty. So it was your sovereign choice to sacrifice. Thanks a lot for that. The wonderful dessert for an application of data space of Gaia-X principles in another industry. You know, you remember the previous talk was about agricultural business, farmers, and all that. Now we are in the manufacturing or back in the manufacturing industry because of the airplane manufacturing example in my inspirational speech. So I welcome Emmanouil, and he will also give a little bit of an insight. You just need the mic, yeah. A little insight how to work on top of our trust framework, because I think you used the asset administration shell and other stuff as we had in the morning. The trust framework is just the ground, the basis, the basement of ensuring the interoperability of participant identity and trust and transactional trust. But what to build on top is left, obviously, to the ecosystems themselves. In your case, I think it's Flex4S. And please, one. And that should work. I'm not sure whether it works as a microphone, but I think the clicking should work. Yeah. And maybe after the 2 days, we have identified the kind of headlines. But let's wait and see. The floor is yours. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So my name is Emmanouil Bakopoulos, but you can call me in short Manos. I am a research engineer that I'm coming from Greece. I'm working at LMS, Laboratory for Manufacturing Systems and Automation, which is located in the University of Patras. So the presentation today is about Flex4S. Flex4S stands for Data Spaces for Flexible Production Lines and Supply Chains for Resilience Manufacturing. So let me introduce the project. And Flex4S is a European Horizon project that started beginning of 2023 and with total duration of 36 months. That means that end of this year, the project will finish. So in total, there are 70 partners across 6 European countries. And we have 4 use cases. And the coordinator of the project is LMS. So what is the motivation behind the Flex4S project? So due to the fact that we have different kind of unforeseen events or disruptions, there is a need to firstly assess if the manufacturing environment or system is resilient, and if not, to quickly adapt to the disruption. So how we do that? We have 2 different toolboxes that we developed in the project. One is the Resilient Assessment Toolbox, and the other one is the Reconfiguration Strategy Toolbox. Those 2 toolboxes contain services that are developed for different hierarchical levels. I will explain this in the next slide. So in order to do so, to use these services, we use the data space concept, where we have international data spaces and also Gaia-X data space. Moreover, we use the digital twin concept, where we implement it using the asset administration shell technology. So in the project, we have 4 use cases. As you can see, the first one is coming from Greece, is Sidenor, the second from Vestelbin from Austria, the third one Goimek from Spain, and Hansberg from Germany. As you can see, we have categorized them into 3 different hierarchical levels. This is how we call them. Macro level is about manufacturing network and supply chain. Meso level is about production system and production site level. And finally, micro is for resource or device level. So during the project, we did some, we tried to extract requirements from the use cases. And regarding the data spaces, this will be my focus, only what we learn about data spaces. And what we learn is that for the micro level, starting from there, they wanted to run a service in a local environment, or in an environment that will not that we will not add any delay on the computational time. So they wanted real time to take real time decisions. Now, continuing to the meso level, there was a problem with the sensitive information, where some partners didn't want to exchange information out of their network. Again, here, two solutions. We came up with two solutions. One is to use a service as software as a service in a provider that they trust. And the second way is to download again the service and run it in a local environment. And finally, on the macro level, we have only one approach that we use in the project, where it is running the service as software as a service. So a trusted partner hosts the service, and the company can utilize the reconfiguration or a resilience assessment service. So this is our approach. This is how we use both data spaces. So in the proposal, what we wanted to do is utilize IDS and Gaia-X. So the idea here was that probably there is a participant in Gaia-X that wants to utilize a service that comes from IDS, or vice versa. So we came up, based on the requirements that we had from the use cases, with this approach, where I will start from the left with the green components, where you can see the IDS data space. Here the idea, as I said, is that someone can trigger a service and use it as a software as a service, and this can return back a response with the results. Now, from the other side, it is with purple is the Gaia-X, where we use the Pontus-X ecosystem. And here you can see, like Pontus-X client is, we enclose there the wallet and also the connector that we use. So what is the idea here? I will focus mostly on the Gaia-X part, or on the Pontus-X. So the idea is that someone that is a participant to the Pontus-X ecosystem can download the service in a computer data environment, run it there, where they can utilize data that are coming either from the Pontus-X ecosystem. So in other words, they can download another data set from the Pontus-X ecosystem. Secondly, utilize data that are local data from ERP, MES, databases, AAS middleware. And finally, utilize data that are coming from the IDS, the International Data Space. So in the project, we use asset administration cells, submodels that are in the IDTA, but also we have developed some new submodels. One of them is in progress in the IDTA, that is regarding the resilience part. So what we did is that firstly we checked what are the available submodels in IDTA, and then we tried to extend some or create some new submodels. And after that, the plan was that we wanted a separate submodel that was focused only on the resilience part. So you can find it there. It is in progress, and probably the next months we plan to do the same for some of the submodels that we developed regarding capturing information from the manufacturing environment. So yeah, overall the idea is that we can enable services to operate across organizations and system boundaries. I see that you raise your hand. Am I right? Yeah. I think so. Yes, they are Docker images. Exactly, yes. So here, this one, for example, is focusing on the Pontus-X part. This is an endpoint here This is an endpoint of a Docker image that you can get it through the Pontus-X. So other words, what it means. We create a local endpoint, an HTTPS local endpoint, where we have to put it on the Pontus-X catalog, and this can create a new asset in the federated catalog, and then someone that is interested to buy it or to use it will pay using his or her wallet, and then you can download it and run it and basically compose it, if I can speak in more technical.
On the IDS side, the flow of information is the data goes down to the IDS connector's bottom and is fed into the service running on we don't know what. Right?
Yes, exactly, yes.
Okay. All right.
This is the idea. Thank you very much. That's all from my side. I just wanted to give you an overview of the project. But I thought that I only have 10 minutes, but I have 15. I can say a few more things about it. So first of all, we have a booth that it is the number 9 booth. You can find us there. Here you can find the QR code of the project. If you want to follow us, you can receive newsletters about what we are doing and more information about the use cases. And I hope, sure, yes. Sure, yeah. Yep. Yes, we use Pontus-X clearinghouse. It's not something that we developed. This is from Pontus-X, all these components. It's not something that we developed from scratch. On the other hand, yes, the green components have been developed in the project from Intrasoft. And now, this is something that we are trying to be compliant there as well. Something that I forgot to say is that FlexForest is also a lighthouse of Gaia-X. And I think that Thomas would like to add something about the Pontus-X components.
I just wanted to clarify so that that's two different type of components or even environments. So we have the Pontus-X ecosystem, which is the data space stack, which consists of the federation services, and then we as the AlphaDAO also have a clearinghouse, but it's to some degree connected because we also have developed mainly the Pontus-X ecosystem, but the clearinghouse is separate. So it can be leveraged, but it does not, these are two different components.
And as far as I understood, on the left side, the green box saying clearinghouse is not a Gaia-X clearinghouse.
No.
Clearinghouse from the
For the IDs, yes. For IDs, yeah. Exactly. That's why I try to have different colors to distinguish the different data spaces. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks a lot for the lovely architecture diagram. Maybe I have one remark to that picture. I know that some Japanese data spaces have a similar, like a dual setup. It's honestly, it's a coexistence architecture which works very well until a certain point, because at the top level, at the data provider or the entity which is running the computer data software, actually, you have to do double effort. You have to work against two trust frameworks. So I have proposed to the Gaia-X board of directors, so don't tell anyone, that we work on converging those two ideas, because that clearinghouse is a remnant from earlier IDSA elements. So my team has, and I will lead them to a convergence of the blue and the Gaia-X pink or violet boxes. So that's possible also technically, but we need a little bit time, and maybe at the Gaia-X Summit, maybe later this year. But this is kind of the time horizon, but unfortunately I really can't promise. So I'm putting myself under a lot of stress by announcing that. But you should, as the technical guy, know that we are totally aware it's a working architecture, but has doubled the effort, and many projects struggle with that double effort. So we are totally aware, focusing on layer 2, level 3, and level 2 and level 3 operationalization, and then we're going to address that. That's really a burning question for every ecosystem. So just to let you know that I fully understand your frustration. But, yeah, please. Yeah, please.
I just want to add something.
It's a workshop. Don't forget it's a workshop room, so we have been relegated to the workshop. workshop room to have this kind of discussion. And we have sufficient spillover time after 5, so no worries about that. I have everything under control.
I just want to add something that in the beginning of the project, we wanted to have one data space that will be complete. Yeah, this was the plan.
Yeah,
But
I totally understand.
we came up with an alternative way to, yeah.
Pragmatic, yeah, sorry. Yep.
Is the Pontus X client a connector?
Yes, it has a connector, yes. But this is what I say, I enclose it into the Pontus X client because there are two things there, the connector and also the wallet, because you can upload and download there.
But it's not a connector in DC sense, right?
No.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's not, but yeah.
Participant agent or something.
Thank you very much. But in case you have any questions, I will be in booth 9. Thank you again.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. And this is exactly why we are in the workshop room. Thanks a lot for your discussion and the input also by the audience.